Step 1. You will want to make a cup of tea for your African parent. Tea always soothes them. Plus, if they're drinking tea, they're distracted and cannot beat you. In order to communicate with an African parent, you have to think like an African parent. In today's video, I will reveal top tips to help you communicate with your African parent. And full disclosure, if this does not work, don't contact me, don't look for me, just delete yourself, because yeah. So anyways, this is just a story of how I told my African parents that I did not want to pursue a career in science, but instead wanted to go into the entertainment industry. You have to keep in mind that African parents, although with very similar attributes in every single home, are still individuals. So you have to know your person, the person you're dealing with. My African parents, if they're watching, I love you, have high expectations from us and they don't like confusion. So what happened with me was in A level, I actually did sciences, maths, physics, chemistry. Woo! So back in A level, when people would ask me what I wanted to pursue, I would come up with all kinds of crazy things. That's the thing. My brain is a brain of someone who just wants to imagine, and yeah, sometimes irritates my mom because she's just like, I wish you could live in reality for once, which is funny. That's a story for another time. But for now, I would tell people I want to study radiography. I want to be a chemical engineer. You know, just these things that had a nice ring to the tongue. So time for applying to universities came, you know. Deep down inside, I knew I wanted to create something, anything. I knew I wanted to create. In radiography school, or whatever it's called, I would probably give up midway. Not because I can't handle it, because guys, I'm smart. I am. But probably because I just cannot commit to it, you know. So tip number 1, before you speak to your African parents, you have to pray and fast for 21 days straight, if you are serious. I'm lying, I didn't fast. Number 2, have a witness when you're speaking to your African parents, someone who can cool the water, someone who can mediate, someone who can stop them from murdering you. Tip number 3, timing. Timing is everything. Tip number 4, be prepared. Think like an African parent. Ask yourself the questions they might ask you. You know, you need, okay, I don't know if it's just in my household, but my parents ask questions to the tiniest detail, to the detail of who will be driving the taxi. That's how my parents are. And in this here journal, I made my presentation for my parents. It was going to be a PowerPoint presentation, but my laptop had a virus. So I wrote it down. I did my research. I looked into what kind of jobs can you get with a film degree, you know, like to cushion them. Because every parent wants to know that you are going to find some form of employment. You're going to be self-sustaining, right? I don't know if it's visible, but like I asked and answered, can an introvert make it in the industry? I answered myself. Why go to film school? Why not learn from YouTube? I wrote it myself. Yeah, because like those are all very viable questions. And like on the issue of can an introvert make it in the industry, I know that my mom knows my personality. She knows that I don't like going to parties. So she's definitely gonna be like, how are you going to make it in an industry that requires you to network? So I had all that down. So there I am, 2 African parents who saw me do sciences, who saw me enjoy sciences. Now I had to tell them, I want to make my film. Fungo shoot my film, right? So I said my story. There was silence. I looked at my sister. She looked away. And then she came back. And she's like, okay, parents, you've heard her story. Do you guys have any questions? Then my dad was like, I'm relieved. I'm like, what? He's like, oh, I didn't tell you guys. Sorry. So it was chemical engineering, radiography, then speech pathology. I wanted to be a speech therapist because I feel like one person doesn't have to be one thing. That's the thing. That's another issue. Like, because you might just be like, how do you go from radiography to speech therapy? I feel like my main point was I wanted to do something worthwhile. I wanted to have a job that means something, some way, somehow, in someone's life. I want to be remembered. I want to be remembered. And with speech pathology, because I wanted to then work with kids who have difficulty speaking, I realized that like whatever child I managed to help would never forget me. And their family would never forget me. I don't know if that's vain to want to be remembered, but that's just how I feel. And now I feel like with the entertainment industry, I will leave my name everywhere. So that's exciting. So anyways, I've broken the news to them and Dad goes, I am relieved. And I go, what? And he goes, because you were confused. My father does not play about money. So he's like, you were confused. I'm relieved. Now you know what you want to do. And I'm like, phew. But mom was still a bit edgy because mom has always wanted a child who would do medicine. But don't worry, mom. I still watch Grey's Anatomy. I can still diagnose something. Be responsible. Show them that you have thought whatever you're trying to tell them. You have thought it through. Be responsible. How many African parents will allow you to go and shoot my film? Eh? Responsibility, accountability, something else, etc. Uncle said to me, so what do you want to go do in uni? This was when I was still battling with telling my parents. And I said, I don't know. He's like, you're lying, you know. I was like, prophet of God, man of God, why you catch me like this? Like that. People at church did not understand why my African parents were allowing me to do this. I could see it in their faces. They're just like, India, don't worry about it, sweetheart. This does flat. This does flat. The thing is, I have this like God assurance. So thank you for watching. That's my story of how I broke the news to my African parents. If you want to break some news to your African parents, I wish you the best of luck. And if you are an African parent, I think you need to review your communication channels with your children. Let it be open communication. Yes, you mean well, but your body language and your actions may not show that you mean well. Oh, and lastly, another thing concerning dreams that are not very conventional. I think, because especially if it's a calling, you know, like if your child has been called to be in the entertainment industry, I think the industry in itself is already very difficult. And if the child has the backing and support of family, chances of them thriving and doing well are much higher than when they have to. On this end, they're fighting the world. On this end, they're fighting relatives. Come on. Just support. Bye.